Welcome to the Jewish Kingdom. This is just a quick video I decided to film on a whim while I was watching a video that was kind of motivational, and it kind of sparked something that I've been thinking about making a video on recently because it's very applicable to a lot of people, especially content creators, people who are trying to build something, whether it, hopefully like a personal brand or a business or something within Web3, right? And I think this period of time where I'm at, which feels like some kind of in-between / waiting period / building, and there's not another word for it. Like, it's just building. It's slow growth. There are some things that I'm doing that are just gonna take forever for a fact. Like, there are just some things that the only remedy or the only thing that's gonna get me to the next place is time. And I'm in a position in life where that's pretty much like the big things in my life. I'm in that portion. So a lot of things I have to keep doing are the boring thing, which is what Alex always talks about. Like, when you're rebuilding anything, can you do the boring thing for a long time? I can do it. But it's for the people who keep dropping off. I'm seeing like all my friends in the YouTube space, especially, just like slowly one by one, they just stop making videos and they're out. You know, a few weeks later, you look at it and you're like, damn, you pretty much just dropped away, like totally gone forever. And it's because they either haven't figured out a sustainable way to lengthen and extend their brand and pivot and adjust, or they can't get through the pluff mud of waiting and the building of relationships. Like, for example, for like business, right? There's nothing I'm rushing. I have a bunch of business things I need to get rolled out in the next few months. They're just going to take a little bit of time for me to like slowly acclimate my way in. I'm reading all these books, sales funnels. It's going to take time to get through them. But not only that, once I read them, I got to actually take that process and things I just learned in my head and like roll them out for real into real life. That's also going to take time because it's going to take time for me to figure out how to implement it. And that just like, I keep saying it, but like it takes months and weeks and months sometimes to get something going. But the thing is, like, when you say it like that, it sounds no problem. Oh, I'll just work for a few weeks. But then like you're in the few weeks and you're in the pluff mud of the 24-hour days, right? And the 60 minutes per hour and the hours and hours and hours that those weeks make up. And that takes forever. And a lot of people can't handle that time. And I think that's why entrepreneurship is so hard, because you go through a 2, 4, 6, 8 week just like lull, it feels like, and nothing's really happening. You're just kind of, it feels like you're spinning your wheels. You're saying the same thing over and over again. Nothing's happening, but things are happening. Like, some things like building a brand, an audience, and a relationship, even if it's a one-way relationship where I'm talking and there's someone watching the videos consistently week to week, sometimes it just takes 6 weeks for someone watching you to finally say, all right, I'm in. Like, I fully support this person, or I want to hire this person, or whatever. Sometimes it just takes 6 weeks of watching that person's content. So if that's the case and you're a content creator, monetize your own content, just be okay with that. You might have to put in weeks or months or even years to convert people from people who are just casual watchers to full-on supporters of you. And this is like where it's important to me. The reason I made this video is because it is the time right now, the buffer periods where you're putting in the effort, you're building the relationships. It's the building portion that makes the end result, once you're finally qualified and have gotten through the challenges to kind of reap those benefits and rewards, that makes sense, that makes it worth it. Most people don't have the patience to make it through, so then they force something. They try and close on a first meeting with someone, right? They try and be best friends the first time they meet someone. Stupid mistakes happen when you get impatient. And for myself, I'm relatively patient, but I'm also impatient with stuff. Like, I'd like to just know all the business stuff in these books tomorrow and implement the next day. I just know that's not going to happen, right? I'd love to go into the restaurant and make friends with everybody and instantly get hangouts and phone calls and text with everyone as soon as possible, but that's not how it works, right? You just build those relationships. After 15, 20 shifts with someone, you've had multiple conversations with them about this and that, then you go out and hang out with them somewhere. Next thing you know, now you're like in the friend group, but without those 3-4 months of working with them and building that slow rapport and getting comfortable around them, that wouldn't have happened. If you forced it 6 weeks earlier, that friendship and relationship wouldn't be the same. And that's my point with anything. With business, when you're building up your catalog of content and you're just trying to get your shit out there, look, if you record 3 podcasts and your goal is to get as many clips out there, you got to realize it's going to take time to get all those podcast clips edited, put into a place where you can finally get them out there, and then upload all of them. It's going to take some time. And it's like, it's okay that it takes time. It's okay to feel like it's taking forever, and you can still continue to put in the work and believe in that final vision. If my final goal is to be a relevant, important figure in Web3, which is my goal, somewhere like that's the broad goal. I don't have an exact thing I want to fit in there. The broad goal is that. Then the things I need to do need to be in line with it. Is the things I'm doing today, even if they're boring and not technically leading to any results today, Are they still in line with that end goal? And if they are, you keep doing them. And you do that even if you're complaining about it, even if it feels like it's not working, you still do it because the end goal is there. And it's usually those little nuanced, the little small things, the little random bits of content that you wouldn't have thought to make that you decide to do because it was in line with your goal. Those, a lot of the times, the relationships you're in, the group chats you made, the connections you made, slowly building your brand, not forcing anything. It'll be those things push in a direction that you're trying to go to that finally gets you across that finish line. And then boom, one day you wake up and you're saying, holy shit, I'm like living this different life than I was living, and because of all the work I put in, the shit days, the long hours, that all finally led to something. And I think that does happen. You just need to give yourself a long enough time scale. I read in a book one time, you can pick out successful people, you just don't know if they're going to stick with it. But if you look at someone, you know they're going to be successful. If they can survive the time period, which is kind of like when you're in the Marines or you're training for one of those like big Navy SEALs types of jobs, there's a weeding out process. And even the toughest people don't make it out of there. So you just have to ask yourself, do you have the stones to do what it takes? Do you have the knowledge and skills to do what it takes? And do you really have what it takes here? Do you actually have what it takes? Some people find they just don't. They find something else they're passionate about. Literally up until 2 weeks ago, I thought YouTube, hosting podcasts, being the host of a show was my main thing. That's what I did. That was my identity. And I read one book, 100 pages of a book actually. And I said, shit, maybe it's the business that I love so much. And the YouTube is like right there with it. But up until 2 weeks ago, business was not anywhere near. Business was not something I really thought about or cared. It's just what I did on the side. And now I'm thinking totally flip-flopped. And that happened in a week. After years of trying to be a YouTuber, after a decade of trying to be a YouTuber, after a year of being a full-time Web3 YouTuber, doing YouTube every day, also running my business, and I realized, shit, maybe it's okay that I'm adjusting a little bit and molding and changing, developing, growing, and growing new branches and shit like that. Like maybe it's okay that that happens, and maybe I can just roll into it and just roll with the punches and see where it takes me, say yes to more opportunities, put myself in those group chats, believe that I can do the things, that I am worthy of the things, and I am okay with making money. Something that I've actually struggled with that I think a lot of people probably would relate to with money. For context, if you don't know, I've been running my company, The Joy Kingdom, for about 14 months. It's been profitable every month. I would honestly argue, like, this isn't to my horn or anything, but like most Web3 companies are not profitable. They're just not making any money. They don't have anything to give, so there's no money there, right? My value exchange is there. They have a full review video, whatever they order through my company. There's an actual give and take, so that's why it's profitable. And there was a period where I was bringing in a lot of fucking money, right? Like a lot of money. I've made as little as $800 a month and as much as 12 grand in a month. So I've made money, and I've had access to money before. And I remember looking sometimes at my account and being like, holy shit, it's like $20,000 in here. And at that period, I didn't have what it took up here, the knowledge, the confidence, anything to handle that type of money. I hadn't really thought, like, what do I do with this? How do I operate with this much money versus what I was used to, which is just a couple grand at most, you know, $3,000 or $4,000. Then I'm like, oh, I've never had much more than that. Like, I better spend this if I got it. You know what I mean? Like, let me cash out. Let me play around. Let me take extra chances instead of doing what I knew I need to do, which is like learn about money here and like, okay, what do I do now that I've like gotten to this level? Now there's 10,000 in my account, not 2,000. How does that change the game? Can I call someone who knows how to deal with money more? Can I figure this out, right? But at that period in time, I wasn't ready for that. That period of time, it was necessary for me to lose all that money and to spend it in ways I shouldn't have, because now 6 months later, I'm like, damn, bro, if that ever happens, which it will, right? I'm just building up again. Then this time I'm ready because I have an intention this time. But because I failed that first time, it's okay that I went through a period of failing, which without that I wouldn't have had the clarity and intention to now not make that same mistake, right? And it's that patience. It's the patience of knowing I will get back to that point. There will be a time in the future where I have this much money in the bank account again. It'll happen. Like every month I have more money, right? So like it will happen. For a fact, in 3 months I'll be richer than I was today. It's a fact. Guaranteed, right? Especially not the restaurant. I'm making consistent income no matter what I do. Because of that, I can say, okay, in a few months, I'll have that same amount of money, and this time I won't make those mistakes. I know what's coming. So what are the things I'm doing day to day? The things in my 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., what am I doing during that time that's going to bring me more money to get me faster there? Or if that's not something that can be happening right now, if there's just not a lot of inbounds coming in, what else can I do? Can I change the funnels of my business? Can I read a book? Can I poke at a relationship and foster that relationship? Is there something I can bring value to another person to open up a new friendship? Is there something else I can do that's still in line with my vision that'll just get me through to that time, you know? And it's like, it's okay if there are some days where like not a whole lot's going on. Maybe you just waste a day, you know? And it sucks to waste that whole day because you feel like ass, because a day can feel like a year sometimes. But that's just how it is. So like some days just suck. But as long as like you're still in line with that, and you know that like the majority of your days don't just suck and you're not doing anything, because yes, I agree, there are periods of time where you just go through a funk and nothing's going on. But like you still have to get like, just ask yourself, like, is that actually what I want? If it is, then like I got to do something today, you know, and maybe tomorrow I'll work on that one thing. My point is, just stay on the path. You can take a nap. You can sit, you can take a break. You can take a 3-week break. But as long as you're still on the path, when you wake up and you say, okay, it's time to get up and go, just do the easiest thing and just pick one and just roll with it, you know? So that's really my message. I don't even know where I was going with that. I just watched this fucking Tony Robbins video and it just made me super like motivated to speak on this, because this is something I've been wanting to say for a while. But sometimes like when you're in YouTube mode, you want to make sure that every video has like a purpose and a thumbnail and a clear objective and all these things. And I was like, man, fuck, I'm just gonna riff, I'm just gonna talk. This is like OG Cade, vintage Cade, you guys know, where I just kind of turn the camera on and just say where the fuck. I might not even get a thumbnail for this. I might just do a screenshot. Who knows what I'll do. But anyways, I appreciate you. If you listen to this whole thing, code word is gonna be fucking Joyous Kingdom. Code words, Joyous Kingdom. If you made it to the very end, thank you so much for being here. Click the like button. Subscribe to the channel for more Web3 business related content. Keeping it real out here. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Joyous Kingdom subreddit down below. And until next time, if you want to see more of me right now, click on these boxes on the other side of me. Until next time, continue to enjoy your Joyage. Continue to learn. And be grateful you're alive watching this video.